and today I'm going to be talking to you about my first multi-day, which was Tour de Tirol 2019.
Das war echt total schlecht. Das würde ich nie wieder machen. Würde ich sagen, lauft ihr euer
Yeah, the Tour de Tirol was a 3-day race. So right, a little bit about each race. So the first race that I'm going to talk about was the 10k night run on the 4th of October, and that is called, brace yourselves, Zehner. I don't know if that's pronounced right, but we'll go with it.
10k, here we go.
And this was a race that started from the centre of Sol, which is where all 3 races started each day, and then you headed on a little loop which you did 3 times, sort of up out the back of the town, round sort of a little hill loop, which was a mix of road and very high quality trail. There was a very small section after going up the hill as you came back down where the path narrowed ever so slightly, but we're not even talking single track, so you know, still could easily pass people on either side, which is really important for that race because it's looped. You got the speed beasts at the front coming in really quick, and they're obviously, you know, you like staying over right, just letting them go do their thing. Really recommend you do it. Really great after you've been traveling, just to get the legs used to running before you hit the marathon the next day. Although it is very tempting to push, I did hold back, and I'm quite grateful because as a little English beast, lots of ascent isn't quite my thing yet. I'm getting there, and I absolutely love the hills, but you've got to bear in mind that there is a reasonable amount of ascent across the 3 days, which is what makes it so epic. So yeah, take it nice and easy on the first day unless you're planning on winning your age category. You know, big crowds in the town, people at the top, like all cheering you on. Really great atmosphere. On day 2, we had the Kaisermarathon. Hopefully pronounced that okay. We got some nice weather on Saturday. Started off with, shall we say, a reasonable level of rain.
Hey everyone, little check-in on stage 2. About halfway distance wise through the race. Still got over half of the ascent to go. Done about 900 meters so far. As you can tell, it's wet. It's very cold. I'm walking through a freezing mist, and I'm quickly learning what proper trail running is. After all, it's trail hiking now. Bit still unsure on the kit. So far, I've just worn a really lightweight vest, and now I've just put on an extra layer underneath the waterproof. Now I've slowed down. I'm worried if I break into a run, I'll sweat through that and get really cold at the top. Just going to keep it going. Still very much all type 1 at the moment, just a little soggy. Bye guys.
So for the marathon, there was meant to be 2,300 meters in the race. However, due to the interesting weather conditions, it actually got cut short for us at 36k. So the profile of the race is sort of reasonably flat for the first 20k or so. I say reasonably flat, and still in the context of some UK races. I think we'd got to about, I'll have a check again, but I think I was on about 600, 700 meters of ascent before I started going up into the mountains. So there are some rolling hills. It is very much up and down, it's not flat, but the first half of the race is much sort of more sort of rolling terrain than the second half, which consisted of 2 big climbs, obviously descent in the middle, and then the race was meant to finish at a ski lift sort of station, but unfortunately that didn't happen for us, which I'll get into more. So you would have about half the descent that you do the ascent, which for me was a really big appeal, as I've yet now to complete a marathon with over 2,000 meters of ascent in it. I've got close, but not quite that much in one race yet. But obviously ours was cut short. But the appeal of maybe, if you are like me, just starting to up the ascent a little bit, having a finish that's up high means that you're sort of saving the quads a bit. So it it's great, and it's nice in a way to come down on a descent, but it's something to bear in mind. When you have a lot of ascent and then a huge descent at the end of a race, that's generally when people start to feel it in their legs, maybe get some knee issues, whatever. So I thought, great, I've got marathon, and I will go back and do it, and hopefully next year or the year after, whenever I next do this race, I'll get to do the full race. But I thought, really cool. I've got 2 decent climbs. I personally love the hills, love the mountains, love the type 1 suffer of making your way up a nice big slope, but only had 1 major descent. The rain was fine, like, you know, I was actually really stupid and didn't pack the best kit. I had bought a lightweight waterproof, I'll just grab it and show you, an Innovate lightweight waterproof. It was about 100 quid, I think, can't remember, I'll double check that for you. Absolutely recommend this jacket more than anything for all my races. It will fit in my fist. So really like compact, waterproof, but if you're running up mountains and it's below 0 up there, which I hadn't anticipated, and it's throwing it down, not enough. Actually, the saving grace for me was I bought a €2 poncho from the race stands just before I set off, being like, maybe I've not got enough waterproof here. And that was absolutely a game changer. I probably would have caught hypothermia if I hadn't done so. I had some extra layers in my back, which again were in dry bags. Highly recommend having a load of dry bags. It makes such a difference when you can keep your kit dry. So yeah, on this race, it was mostly sort of high quality forest track, little bit of single track, but not too technical. I can't comment on the very final section of the race because we didn't get to do it, but generally I'd say really, really good terrain. When I got to the first hill and got to that about 22k where you get up the top, the wind really started to hit in sections. It's quite exposed from the point of view of you've come out from some really nice forestry track and you're on the top above all the forest. But what I did do was put this poncho over the top, and then as long as it wasn't too windy, that was keeping all my warmth in. So although I was soaked through, I was warm. However, when we got up onto these peaks, the wind was blowing an absolute gale and had that all taken away. So really highly recommend, really think about your layers if the weather's not great. I just made a type 1 mistake there. But anyway, as we came down the first descent, the race actually got called there about 36k in because the race organisers made the call that maybe it wasn't the best conditions to be heading up again, which I have complete respect for. It's their responsibility to keep us all
now
safe. Personally, I cannot accept a marathon medal without completing a marathon, so I then went back to my car, put away my dry bag and stuff, and went and did another 8k or so.
So my race got called at 35k. Because it was horrendous weather, fair enough. Sideways rain and hail, really strong winds, and discovered I wasn't really wearing anything waterproof, so it was fucking cold.
But yeah, completely agree with their decision on that day. Although we may have got away with it, that could have been, you know, serious trouble for some people. Maybe even me, bearing in mind how wet I was, if I'd continued on with that race. And I'm pretty stubborn, so I wouldn't have DNF'd. Probably would have ended up being rescued beforehand. So good call on that, guys. And I'll definitely be coming back for the full race. And just have a quick look at the medal. So this is the medal for the finisher of the marathon. Really nice medal, love it. So from there on in, we had the final race, which was the Polven Trail, which ended up being about 26k for us. Absolutely incredible race, probably my favourite. The weather conditions were a bit more friendly to us, but the terrain was absolutely beautiful. In terms of the 3 days, this was the most technical. There was a bit more single track, quite a lot more mud, but again, on the UK schemes of things, not much mud. Probably not much mud also on the scheme of things in Austria, but I can't comment on that. So, you know, there were some muddy patches, beautiful waterfall that we passed, and it was about, have a look, 1,100 meters of ascent, so a decent bit of ascent in it again. And really incredible race, loved it. If you're thinking about doing the set of 3, or maybe like the marathon and the 10k but not this race, I really would, if you think you can manage it, put this race in as well, because I think it was probably my favorite day of the 3. Really loved the course, every minute of it. Another thing to mention about the aid stations were great. In general, had some various bits of food. It was often bananas, sometimes bits of sandwiches, chocolate, sweets. Then one of my favourite things to drink, obviously full sugar Coke, isotonic water, sometimes soups as well, which I personally didn't have. I tend to just drink the Coke, get as much sugar in as I can. I don't stomach food very well when I race, so that is always a game changer for me. And any race that doesn't have it, I get withdrawal. But yeah, so really great final day there. So again, this is my little sort of finisher trophy that I picked up, and because I did all 3, I also got this medal, which is absolutely beautiful. And then on the final day, we all hung around and you picked up your medal, finisher medal, at the ceremony at the end after they did the presentations for the race that day, and then the sort of winners of the cumulative 75k. There was also an ultra, which was on the second day, where you could do all 3 races in one, which sounds great and something I might consider in future. So that obviously had separate winners as well. So lots of categories, amazing prizes that they were given, some cash prizes for some of the winners as well. Like me, I had an absolutely incredible weekend, great staff, amazing community, like really recommend it. The other thing that I got on the final day, so the 26k, the Polven Trail, got a really nice little beanie. Again, all really high quality stuff, love it. And then obviously got my little memento bag, which had my little pack in, which I'm rocking the t-shirt from. It's really great top here. It's sort of like a bit of a technical fabric, sort of like slightly elasticated, so it's not cotton. I'll have a look and then pop down there what it actually is made of. I'll check the label in the back in a minute. But you know, it is sort of like a top you could train in if you wanted to, but it is high quality, really nice t-shirt that we got from it. On the first day, I think they gave us these socks. I'm pretty sure that's the way around it was. So I've got some really nice fluoro yellow socks, which say "Run the World" on them. I also here have the one thing we got, which was a little breakdown of the elevations and the different types of terrain. And that was really handy to have, as it meant that I could check each morning where my aid stations were. That's really clear. It also breaks down what's available. So for example, this particular station I'm looking at was water, banana, cola, soup, chocolate, bread, isotonic drinks, gels, and did I say Coke? I did say Coke. Really handy to have that, really was quite grateful for that. So hopefully this video has been useful to you, and let me know if you have any more questions and I will do my best to answer them. So have a great day everyone, and we'll see you soon. Bye.